Do you want to start being better, but then your environment almost hinders you into doing so? Do you want to start looking towards making positive changes in your life? For example, eating healthier, but there's a McDonald's right across the street. Do you want to be a better person, but your friends don't want to go along that journey with you? Well, all of this is truly due to your environment. Our environment is the space which we exist in, and most of the time we have very little control over this. And truthfully, your environment can make or break you. I'll give you an example. When I was still in school, I'm homeschooled now, by the way, every day I was smoking weed. Every day without fail. Every single day. Like boom, 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 like clockwork. And being in school made it easier because every time I would go to use the bathroom, there was just a bunch of drugs there. It was just being bluntly. And one day I was talking to my teacher about this, and I mentioned this on a podcast that I did earlier. Go subscribe and check out his channel. I was speaking to my teacher, and for sake of story, we'll just call her Miss K. She's a biology teacher. So we were talking about the drugs, talking about the school bathrooms. I was talking about how the bathrooms are crowded, and we're speaking about the drug issue in the bathroom because the teachers are aware of it, obviously. They don't have much control over them. I said something, and it made her stop the conversation. And I really thought about this a lot after I said it, because there was only one bathroom open. If y'all remember the Devious Looks Challenge, if you're young, like if you're around my age, there was this TikTok trend where people would steal things from the bathrooms.
Hey man, you already know who it is. Your boy Lil B. Hey man, it's that Hoop Life mixtape. This that pretty boy music. If you on the streets, man, you in the gutter, man, you got bitches, slap this. You feel me? Fucking your hoe. Giddy up.
So people did that the year before. So this year, which is a completely brand new year, my 10th grade year. So in this one bathroom, they basically condensed all of the drugs into one area. So I asked her a simple question. If there was a virus and you condense it into one area, what happens? It spreads. So this really cued me in on my environment and how you basically pick up people's viruses. If there was a zombie apocalypse, you would not be walking up to people, giving people hugs and shit. Especially zombies. But because it's not like, oh, taking drugs, you're not a zombie, you're not gonna go brainless, even though you kind of are. People don't have that same level of awareness and that same level of distance. I don't think if there was a zombie apocalypse, the school would condense it all so all the zombies hang out with each other. But basically, by condensing all that drugs into one area, for me, who I'm not gonna say that made me start smoking, but that continued it was so easy for me to just walk in and acquire drugs. Like literally, first thing in the morning, there's like 40 people in there. 5% of them are using the bathroom. And the 5% who are using the bathroom, they're probably still doing drugs too. It was like, if there was a person in there who wasn't doing drugs, they were honestly the odd one out. And in an environment like that, it's so easy to acquire the substances that it's so hard to quit, because you're used to that environment. And school in itself was an environment where I felt like I needed to take drugs. Even though that's not true, let's be real, that's not true. I didn't need to, but that environment as a whole led to that outcome. If I'm in the bathroom with all of these people doing drugs, this virus is spreading. And this happens in all aspects of life. People will give you viruses. There's a saying, misery loves company. And if you're in the company of miserable people, or people who are detrimental to themselves, which I would consider misery, then you will eventually be like them. Just if you're in the company of people who are improving themselves, you will work harder, you will improve yourself. Like another example, when I'm with my brother, my older brother, my little brother, Pinnell, anyone, any person who is truly improving themselves. Like just last night, I was hanging out with Pinnell, and he was like, oh, you want to do push-ups? And I was like, yeah, I'll do push-ups. Because, bro, if he starts doing push-ups, I'm not going to be not doing push-ups. He was like, oh, I didn't want to feel like the odd one out. And that made me think. In most scenarios, if he started doing push-ups, he would have been the odd one out. So he would have been influenced to not do the push-ups. But in that scenario, he wasn't the odd one out. I was down to do the push-ups with him. He knew I would have done the push-ups with him. But I made a competition. Who could do more push-ups? Oh, you can't do a one-handed push-up, blah, blah, blah. So just by being in that scenario with me, or us being together, him having the idea to do push-ups and me actually being the type of person who would go along with doing push-ups with him, we became, in the tiniest way, more fit and better people. So imagine this on a granular scale. Imagine this applied 1,000,000 times over on the littlest scenarios. Oh, I didn't want to be the odd one out, so I did drugs. Oh, I didn't want to be the odd one out, so I drunk, or anything like that. I didn't want to be the odd one out, so I started chasing girls. With your environment and what your circle values is very important to you. If your environment and your circle values people who party, people who do drugs, people can be the most degenerate. Oh, bro, I smoke more than you, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's what will be perpetuated onto your mind. Whatever is around you will be in your mind's eye. Here, I'll give you another example. I was interested in Buddhism and just meditation, really. And there are 5 hindrances of meditation, which goes as following: sloth, torpor, ill will, restlessness and worry, and doubt. And a factor of prevention for each and every single one of these hindrances is good spiritual friendship and suitable conversation. You are who you hang around. That is completely true. Anyone who tries to deny it, one, they're overly cocky because they think they have an iron mind. If you're around people and you're the best one out of them, ultimately you will be a lackluster version of yourself because you won't be pushed to improve in any way. So if you're around people and all they do is drugs, then you will want to do drugs because it will just be perpetuated in your mind and your mind's eye. If you're around people, all they do is just be lazy and complain, you'll start seeing bad in the world. So just really look out for your environment and mainly your people. And there's 2 ways that you can change your environment. One is by getting rich. Getting rich is a great way to change your environment because you'll be able to just get out. So the second way to tune your environment and select the environment that is best for you is to choose the people who you are letting influence you. And this will actually be a big key determining factor in your ability to get rich. Because if you're around lazy, complacent, incompetent people, you will be lazy, complacent, and incompetent yourself, and you won't be able to get rich. If you're around people who want to get rich and who are grinding, always talking about money, always talking about the next way that they can level up, how they can improve their plan, then you'll be thinking about that. So just by doing this, you make changing your environment as a whole way easier by selecting good people to be around. Nowadays, I will say it's hard to select good people to be around. In some areas, especially in lower income communities, it might be very hard. You might honestly have to take the liberty of cutting everyone off and isolating yourself and only controlling the inputs that you receive. Because when you're with other people, you can't control those people, and those people are inputs on you, and all of your inputs build up to your outputs. So if you control the input that you have, you can control the output that you have. Simply controlling the people that are around you and controlling the inputs that you have, you make controlling your environment and dictating who you are as a person infinitely easier. It's not even comparable being around people who do drugs and bad things and trying to quit drugs, or just being by yourself and trying to quit drugs, or being with good people and trying to quit drugs. So your inputs are very important because they all lead to the output. The input all leads to output. 1 + 1 = 2 because there were 2 ones. It's that simple. And if you think that will feel lonely, join the Self-Improvement Summer Discord. I'll be in there. We'll all be in there. We'll talk to you. We'll help you through your friendless problems. And we're all grinding together for real. And if you want an even closer connection with me, because I'm only in the Self-Improvement Summer Discord for a little bit of time each day, then sign up for 101 self-improvement coaching. You could literally have me for a whole month by your side, improving with you, helping you improve, giving you tips, making a plan custom made for you, and that you can tweak and alter with me. It's like a collaborative of ideas on how you can improve. You can sign up for the 1-month coaching program, which is $50, or if you just want to speak, you can sign up for a 30-minute coaching call, which is only $15. You could be talking to me today for $15 about any issue in the world. You don't have to wait for me to drop a video about it. Subscribe. Now get off YouTube. Go tune your environment.